Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, April 25th. This is Adam Peterson, account manager and trainer for DCI. We do these calls for you guys every Monday at noon, so thank you so much for hopping on. We have a guest with us today with some super important information that's going to help you guys make that cash money. And what I'm talking about is SmartPay. It's been a while since we had a SmartPay field team. I know there's a lot of questions out there in the field. But man, I'm telling you, if you guys get this down and you fully understand how to leverage SmartPay, there is so much money to be made. I have some dealers who totally get it, they understand it, and they're seeing huge profits, right? So I'm glad you guys hopped on this call. And we do have Monet Hamner on with us. She's going to lead today's training and kind of reintroduce you guys or give you kind of a refresher on SmartPay because I'm telling you, pay close attention. This is a huge opportunity for all of your doors. So with that, Monet, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate this opportunity to train everyone. Again, my name is Monet Hamner. I'm going to be your first point of contact for SmartPay. As Adam said, it has been some time since you may have heard from SmartPay or had that first point of contact, but I am here. If you don't have my information already, feel free to go ahead and save my phone number as well as my email. If you have an issue, you have a question, or you need some additional training, or you need some SmartPay marketing material, please don't hesitate to send me an email or shoot me a text or give me a call, and I am at your service. So, as Adam said, this is just going to be a bit of a refresher on how to use SmartPay, what SmartPay is, and even for those of you who maybe haven't processed a transaction in a long time or you've never done it before, we're actually going to walk through Elevate as well to walk you through that process so you feel a little bit more comfortable with positioning and pushing SmartPay to your customers. Also, I am a trainer at heart. So if you have a question or you're confused or you need some additional clarity on whatever it is that I'm sharing, please feel free to either unmute yourself or if you're more comfortable using that chat option, I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have along the way. All right, so I always like to just start with the basics, and that's going to be what is SmartPay. Some of you may already know, but SmartPay is a lease-to-own payment plan option that allows customers to either lease bundled phones and accessories. If you have unlocked devices, that actually does qualify for SmartPay. Maybe the customer, they were eligible for Boost Up, for example, but they didn't have enough money to cover their accessories. Well, with SmartPay, you can lease standalone accessories as long as the total is $50 or more, and accessories that can be put on SmartPay by itself. And then additionally, anything that is an actual durable good or something that the customer can physically walk out of the store with, such as your tablets, your speakers, your connected devices, that can be put on SmartPay as well. And the customer can make monthly or biweekly payments over time. So very similar to what you guys already offer with Boost Up, but there are different eligibility requirements with SmartPay, as you all already know, compared to the Boost Up. But just want to make sure you all know what qualifies for SmartPay. Some of you may have been using SmartPay for a very long time, and you may be wondering why you don't see that first month's bill on this list of what can be put on SmartPay. That has been removed. So at this time, when you create SmartPay leases, you want to make sure that it does not have the first month's bill and it does not have any fees that may need to be processed separately. SmartPay is only to be used when the customer can physically walk out of the store with that particular item. All right, so next we're going to talk about why SmartPay. This is another reason why we're here. First thing first, SmartPay is really easy to use. The application process takes less than 2 minutes. So those of you who've ran an application already, you can confirm that it's very quick. It's all personal information that the customer already has. They don't need to provide you with any proof of income or proof of residency. You enter that information in our website through Elevate, and you will receive an instant decision. So within about 30 seconds or so, you'll know if that customer is approved or if they're not approved. Additionally, SmartPay will communicate with that customer via email, letting them know if they were approved or if they weren't. If that customer does get approved, that approval is actually valid for 30 days. So they have 30 days to take advantage of that offer, which gives them plenty of time to make sure that SmartPay is the best fit for them. And then I know this is huge for us, right? SmartPay is paperless, so you don't have to worry about having the customer sign any particular documentation and keeping record of that. It's not a requirement, but if that's something that you're comfortable doing, by all means you can, but everything is electronic. So it helps with eliminating that paper trail. Also, SmartPay is very easy to sell. I've done a lot of door visits. I see a couple of some dealers on that I've actually met in person, but they can attest to this too. Because SmartPay is a no credit required payment plan option, most customers are more likely to say yes to splitting that cost of the device or accessories up into a monthly payment plan when they know that their credit is not going to be impacted. So that's definitely an easy selling point. And then again, who doesn't want to pay over time? We live in a buy now, pay later era. What does that mean? Everywhere we go today, whether it's a retail store, electronics store, whether we're getting a car, we're getting a home, whatever it is, you have the option to split that cost up into monthly payments. That's everywhere. So most customers nowadays, they're very familiar with that option. It's just our job to let them know, in addition to Boost Up, that you guys have another payment plan option that may suit their needs. So we'll definitely leverage you all to make sure all customers who come into your doors know that there are multiple options for them to get everything it is that they want. Last but not least, it's easy to buy because once that customer gets approved, they can get any phone or device or accessory that you guys have available and put that on a SmartPay lease. Additionally, SmartPay does allow for that customer to pick the date that we take that payment from their account. I know some customers may not like the idea of auto pay with SmartPay, but they have more control because they can pick the frequency, so monthly, biweekly, twice per month, even down to the actual day that SmartPay will take that payment from their account every month, so they know to make sure to have that money on that card when that payment's due. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, remember, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can use that chat, and I will do my best to answer. Now you may be saying, Monet, that sounds good. You said SmartPay is simple to use, but what does it take for a customer to actually qualify for SmartPay? What are you guys looking at? Well, first thing first, they have to be 18 years old. They do have to have a valid social security number or an I-10, which just means the individual taxpayer identification number. Some of you may know that as I-9. And then they do need to have a debit card linked to a bank account or a credit card to process that upfront payment. So SmartPay really has no other way of ensuring that we receive our money back once we pay for that device or accessories for that customer. So the one way that we guarantee that we can at least get some kind of money back is by using a debit or credit card. It's very easy for customers to use prepaid cards to shut those accounts down and not pay their bills. But if they use a debit card, that's usually linked to a checking account, and they probably have a lot of bills coming out. They have the direct deposit coming out or going into that account for work and things of that nature. So they're less likely to try to not pay SmartPay back. But it's very important that if you do offer SmartPay to your customers, that they know we do not accept prepaid cards. It does need to be a debit card or a credit card. All right, so getting to the meat of the presentation here, SmartPay is here to help you make more money. How can we help you do that? We can help you increase your platinum device sales. So oftentimes the customers, they want the latest and greatest, the newest device that dropped, but they don't have that out the door cost money, or they're a little weary and they don't want to give it to you up front. Well, that's where you can take advantage of SmartPay because we'll lower that out the door cost for the customer. And then sometimes customers don't have enough for accessories. They don't have enough to get the device that's on the new network, but they want to take advantage of the high speed data, right? Or maybe they want to take advantage of the insurance. Maybe they want to add some international services. Maybe they even want call screener, but they spent all of their money paying on the device, right? Well, with SmartPay, again, it goes back to lowering that customer's budget or out the door cost. When that cost is lowered, that leaves a little bit more room for them to get the value added services that they have been wanting for a long time. So that's the beauty with pushing SmartPay. And one thing that I love to stress when I do my door visits is customer expands the customer's SmartPay expands the customer's budget. What does that mean? Your customers will have a higher buying power if they get approved for SmartPay. Most customers will qualify from $200 to $1,500, and they can use that for any device accessories that you guys are offering, and they won't have to pay that $200 or that $1,500 at one time. So you'll definitely be able to get that customer in what it is that they actually want, that in at a cost that they can afford. Also, you'll see an increase in your overall box and accessory revenue. The average invoice without SmartPay is about $130, and that's nationally. With SmartPay, nationally, this averages $500 to $600. So you will get those higher quality devices out the door sooner than later. And usually, if a customer gets into a device that they actually like, that is going to help you increase your customer retention, right? So typically with SmartPay, most of our customers have a 75% to 90% 3MR and 6MR because they actually have a device that they want. And if they have a device that they want at a payment that they can afford, why would they leave Boost and look for the next best offer? They're going to stay because, one, you gave them the opportunity to get something that they thought they couldn't get at an affordable cost, and they love the quality of the service. So it's a win-win for everyone. All right. So some of you may be wondering, okay, so how much is it actually going to be if a customer is interested in using SmartPay? Well, this is an easy way to position SmartPay and quote the customer what the out the door cost is going to be, including what the monthly payment is going to be. And I call this the 30 for 30 offer. So what is the 30 for 30 offer? Any device or accessory or bundle with the device and accessory that costs between $200 to $249 is going to be $30. So $30 for their first payment, followed by 14 payments of $30 thereafter with SmartPay. That's pretty affordable, especially if you're pushing for the $50 rate plans or the $60 rate plans, because most customers are comfortable paying $100 a month total, right, for a phone and the bill. Well, that puts them right within that $100 threshold if you stick with the device that's between $200 to $249, or if you bundle, right, up to $200 and $249. So $30 is definitely a really common ground for a lot of customers to feel more comfortable with taking the offer. And who's eligible for that 30 for 30 offer? Well, anyone. So any single line, multi-line, new or upgrade or port-in customer can qualify for that 30 for 30 offer because it's all about the price. So anything that's between $200 to $249 is going to be $30 in store with you, and then SmartPay is going to debit $30 thereafter. Any questions, comments, or concerns so far? All right.
Okay, I do have a question.
Okay.
So when I'm selling SmartPay, do we use the SmartPay app button in Elevate, or do we do it through Chrome and then put in, and then we go through the activation process, right?
Yes. Yes. So you can, whatever way is easier for you, you can either use SmartPay within Elevate, or you can go directly to SmartPay's website outside of Chrome. I would just say whatever is easier for you. Usually the way that you'll see in this training is we use it within Elevate. But if there, for whatever reason, is an issue that you're having when launching the SmartPay website in Elevate, then you can't go directly to the website, and everything will still transfer over appropriately as far as pricing.
For this question, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Just for this specific phone, what is the best way to pitch it to a customer, and how would we implement that into the SmartPay website?
So specifically for the Samsung A51, I think, is that Renata that's speaking?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So you can, I'm so happy that you asked this question. So I know that the Samsung, well, I think it's the iPhone SE Gen 2, right? That's the one that's on the BTN network.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is something where I know that there is a current issue with putting devices that are on the BTN network with SmartPay. And I would say the best way to, anytime you have a device that is on the BTN network and the customer is interested in SmartPay, go directly through the website to create that lease. And then you will still follow the normal cash out or checkout process, and just make sure that when you are checking out, that SmartPay is showing as that type of payment tender. And hopefully you don't have any issues with the activation fee coming, transferring over within Elevate. Does that answer your question, Renata?
Yes, most definitely. That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I have a question. If a customer is eligible for upgrade discount, they do SmartPay, they still get the upgrade discount?
That is correct. Whatever promotion the customer qualifies for, it will carry over for SmartPay. So once you actually create the SmartPay lease, you will see where you will be able to enter the amount of the device based on whatever promotion they qualify for.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions?
Maybe. So if someone has to do a return within 7 days on SmartPay, is that done through us within 7 days, or is that going through SmartPay? I know we're not there yet, but it just popped up in my head.
No, that's another great question. So we do follow your return policy. So if they do have a device that's eligible to be returned back to you all within 7 days, they actually return that to you, and you will process the return within Elevate, and then you'll have to process the return on SmartPay's website, and we'll refund the customer whatever payment that they made. And then if we paid you all for that transaction, we're going to take that money back. If the customer falls outside of the 7-day window, even if it's day 8, that phone needs to be returned to SmartPay. So they will have to contact the SmartPay customer service department, and we will help them complete that return back to us. And you all, as the dealer, you will still keep the payment for that device or accessories that they're returning to SmartPay.
Thanks, Bunny.
You're welcome. All right, so the next thing I want to show you, and you're like, Monet, this is the device hot sheet. I already know what this is. Well, I'm happy that everyone already knows what this is, but I want to call out that the last column is the SmartPay monthly payment pricing. So you'll see under the new/upgrade or the port in columns that there is a SmartPay payment next to devices that qualify and are eligible. So this is another helpful resource that you can use when you are trying to explain how much the payment is going to be depending on the device that customer is interested in. And that is something that should help you with closing that deal and making sure that you are able to save that sale and get them into the device with the affordable monthly payment that they desire. So it's the last column, SmartPay monthly payment, highlighted in blue. You'll see the pricing for SmartPay. All right, so also just wanted to call out some things here just to make sure we're all on the same page. Customers who may be eligible for the ACP discount can actually use the money that they've saved towards a new device and put that with SmartPay, and they will still come out paying their $30, $50, or $60 a month. And now they have a new device with the lower out the door cost for that monthly plan. So ACP and SmartPay definitely can work very well together. It's just all about making sure that you are positioning SmartPay to every customer that comes into the door, especially if they're eligible for the ACP discount, because they are saving money, but who doesn't want their money to work for them, right? So if I am saving money and I could potentially get into a newer device and pay the same payment that I was paying, which I could afford, let me go ahead and upgrade and get that new device. This is definitely a great way to position SmartPay if you do have a customer who qualifies for that ACP discount. Also, I always like to say SmartPay customers are usually always eligible for an upgrade. And why am I saying that? Well, because they can actually get the device that they want when they want. So they don't necessarily have to be eligible within on your guys' end, but as long as they're comfortable paying that SRP price and they are comfortable with that payment, they can always get a newer device. So that's where I say customers are always eligible for an upgrade as long as they're comfortable with how much that out the door cost is going to be. Another great thing with SmartPay is the customer actually doesn't have a down payment. They actually, when you guys are creating that lease, you're taking the first payment for the SmartPay lease, and then SmartPay is going to automatically debit the payments from their account thereafter. So they don't have to worry about an actual down payment or a deposit to put down on the device with the accessories. They'll just make that first payment and be on their way. And if you have a customer who is worried about how much the overall cost of the device is going to be, this is where making sure that they're aware that SmartPay has a 90-day early payoff option. And if they pay out within 90 days, that cost is going to be about 20%. Is very important. I tell everyone SmartPay is not the cheaper option. SmartPay is the affordable option. And there is a fee that's automatically included in that monthly payment. And that is obviously charged to the customer for us purchasing on their behalf. So if you can make sure that all customers who are interested in SmartPay are aware of that 90-day early payoff option, that would be wonderful. And maybe the customer's like, I don't know if I can pay out in 3 months, but I probably can pay out in month 4 or month 5. That's still great, because the sooner the customer pays off their SmartPay lease, the actual lesson fees are going to pay in the end. So they're not saving on the cost of the device, but they would be saving on the total fees that they pay over time if they pay off sooner than the 15 total payments. Are there any additional questions or comments so far? All right, so now we're going to move on to positioning SmartPay. Everyone may have a different way to offer SmartPay to their customers. Here are the two that I think work most are most effective when you're positioning SmartPay to a customer, and it's easier for you to remember, and it feels a little bit more natural when you're speaking and trying to offer it. The first one is, once you get to the point where you have that customer coming in, they let you know what brought them in today. They've already shared with you that they're interested in a new phone, or their phone is broken and they need a new phone, whatever the case is. You can immediately ask them, so how are you planning on paying for this new phone today? Are you going to do it by cash, credit, or payment plan? And usually when you introduce the payment plan in the beginning of the conversation, it's going to spark the customer's interest. And they're going to say, why are you referring to the Boost Up? And you can say yes or no, because you have the customer's account. So you can pull up everything and see if they qualify for Boost Up. And if they don't, but they still want a new device, but they don't have the out the door cost for that device, that is where you can still save that sale and position SmartPay and let them know that they can still break it up into payments. It would just be with another company by the name of SmartPay. Another great way, if you're comfortable with throwing out numbers, is to position the out the door cost and the monthly payment together. So let's say the customer is interested in the Samsung A51, for example. You can say the out the door cost, and my amounts may be wrong. I just threw a number out there, but the A51 is $300 off the door today, or $30 on a monthly payment. And if you give them the two options side by side, they're going to be more likely, again, to go with the lower out the door cost. And obviously, some customers are okay with paying the out the door cost, but for that customer who questions, if I can potentially save $270 today, right now, yeah, I think I'm going to go with that monthly payment plan option. That's another easy way to get the customer interested in applying for SmartPay. And again, the benefit of applying for SmartPay is you're going to increase the customer's buying power. So yes, they may have been looking at a device that was at $300, but let's say they apply for SmartPay, they get approved, and they have $500 that they can now spend. Now you can get them into a better device, maybe even add lines, and you can add accessories. I know we all have our box goals, we have our accessory targets that we want to hit. This is another way to make sure that you are able to reach your targets while giving a solution to the customer that they didn't even know was available. So I like to call it the 30 for 30 mantra, and that's anything between $200 to $249, a device, multiple devices, accessories, bundles, whatever it is, between $200 to $249 will be a $30 payment. Very affordable. Now, maybe you struggle with getting the customer to say yes after they get approved for SmartPay. These are some of the common objections. If there's something on that's not on here that you want assistance with, that you experienced with the customer and couldn't answer, this is definitely the time for you to ask. But based off of me being in the field, most customers usually say that the monthly plan with SmartPay is too expensive. Well, that's why we want to highlight the 90-day early purchase option because that was created to help reduce the cost overall for the customer. And then also we want to stress the low flexible payment. The monthly payment is usually what drives that sale home because it's so low versus paying the out the door cost, right? And another benefit is that SmartPay is lease to own. So with us being lease to own, the customer can end the lease at any point in time after the lease is created with no long-term commitment. So they're not locked into the SmartPay lease. If they say, I don't want this phone anymore for whatever reason, they contact SmartPay and then we'll go ahead and process that return and stop billing the customer. It does not impact their credit score, nor does it impact the likelihood of them getting reapproved in the future with us. Maybe a customer is saying, it's a little too complicated. I'm really confused. I don't understand the terms of this offer. Well, it's very simple to break down. You can explain that it's just a single offer of 15 payments over 14 months. Or another way that I like to say is one payment in store followed by 14 out the door. And then let them know the payment's automatically debited from their account. Usually makes it a little bit easier to get that customer to say yes. All right, so I know I got my 5-minute timer. So I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. And Adam hit the nail on the head at the beginning. He said he has some dealers who are taking advantage of SmartPay, and they are definitely increasing their revenue for their locations. Well, this is the key to success, and that is submitting 2 applications a day, the SmartPay way. So if you are working average of 15 to 20 days every month, and every day that you work, you submit 2 applications, that'll get you about 30 to 40 applications submitted. And let's just say 50% of those applications get approved. So that's 15 to 20 approvals that you're dealing with. And let's just say 50% of those approved customers actually complete and close the deal with SmartPay. That's about 8 to 10 SmartPay transactions in a month. And the average SmartPay transaction is $514. And we already talked about this, but it can include accessories, the PLT, the 3 and 6 MR. So if we had closed 8 to 10 SmartPay transactions every month, you'll be bringing in $4,000 to $5,000 in sales to that location every single month. But you have to make sure that you offer it to all of your customers. Do you think that this is something that's reasonable to ask of you to submit 2 applications a day? Anyone has any success here that they can share? All right, we'll hold that for the end. So to wrap up, I want to show you all how to actually process a SmartPay transaction within Elevate. So first thing first, you're going to log into Elevate, and all of you should see the SmartPay leasing option. Once you click that SmartPay leasing option, it's going to launch our website. Once our website launches, it's the same process flow from if you clicked SmartPay leasing within Elevate versus if you went directly to SmartPay's website and tried to submit the lease. So the next couple of slides that I'm going to show you is the exact same, no matter if you're using Elevate or if you're not. But you're going to enter your store ID. If you do not know your store ID, please reach out to me. I'll just need your sales portal ID along with the address, and I'll be able to get your SmartPay login ID so that you can go back to using SmartPay. So if you don't have that, please reach out. Once you enter the login ID, you're going to click on Start a New Application. Here's all the information that's going to be entered: customer's first name, last name, email address, phone number, date of birth, their social security number. They also need to verify their address, and if there is no additional info needed, they'll be presented with the offer if they qualify. Next, you'll actually be prompted to build the shopping cart. So for those of you who've never done it, you will be able to see that there's a drop-down box and you can enter an item or enter accessories manually, and you'll enter that dollar amount. After you do that, you'll enter the customer's bank card information, review the terms and conditions with them, and process that upfront payment. Once you take that or first payment, you'll be presented with screen number 3, and you'll have the transaction complete notification, and it'll have the application number. You want to make sure that you either copy that number or keep this particular window open. After you have this screen, you'll then go back to Elevate, and you can minimize the SmartPay website, and then now you'll be able to activate the phone. Now, the process will stay the same for you when you're activating the device. You can select the contract type, and then if you need to complete an additional activation, you can. If not, you can download it to the POS. After you download it to the POS, you want to make sure you click on Add Item, And what you need to do here is make sure that the SmartPay transaction is tax exempt. SmartPay adds the taxes to the customer's monthly payment, so we don't want them to be charged twice for taxes for the device. So you'll make sure you click tax exempt. You'll then be able to select the items that need to have the tax removed. And then once you have everything selected, you'll click update tax, and then you'll see that comment on image 10 that the taxes was removed, and SmartPay took that. After that, if you need to apply a coupon, you can. If not, you'll just click make a payment. In slide 12, or excuse me, screenshot 12, you want to enter the amount of the lease that was entered for SmartPay. So if it was $100, $150, $200, whatever it is, you put that in the SmartPay field and click OK. And then you'll be prompted to enter the application number from the previous SmartPay screen. You'll enter that information here, click OK, and then you'll take the difference or continue with completing the transaction. And that is how you complete a SmartPay lease within Elevate. All right, are there any additional questions, concerns, comments, or needs?
I have a question.
Oh, yes.
How long does a customer have to make another sale with leftover funds?
That is a great question, Reed, and that customer has 30 days. So wherever they create the lease, they are locked into that location. And if they come back 30 days from the date that the lease was created, you'll be able to add to that lease.
Do I just go back into the application and it should just be kind of self-explanatory from there?
Yes, so you will go, once you launch the website, SmartPay's website, you'll see something that says find application. You'll click find application and enter the customer's date of birth and the last four of their social security number. And then you'll see an option that will allow for you to adjust the customer's lease. And then that's where you go ahead and add to the lease. If you find the customer and that button is not there, that means that they've exceeded the 30 days. So they can't add. They would have to pay that lease off and then create a new one.
Awesome, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Are there any?
One quick question. Is it 30 days from when they made the sale or 30 days from when they actually applied and got approved?
It will be 30 days from when they made the sale.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I have a couple more slides that just talks about the FAQ or frequently asked questions. But if you don't have any additional questions, thank you again very much for your time. And Adam, I don't know if we want to stay on for extra 5 minutes just for Q&A or if the webinar will end here.
No, these are great questions. If you guys have more questions, now's the time to ask them. So we can definitely stay on for 5 more minutes. Any questions you guys have, feel free to ask them.
Let's say an employee accidentally charges the tax in Elevate and SmartPay. What would we do there?
So in that particular case, if you are able to go back and adjust the lease, you can, but I know in order to adjust the customer's lease, they usually have to have the remaining dollar amount available to add. So let's say they got approved for $500 and the device that was put on the lease is coming up to $400 and you need to lower the taxes. You won't be able to do it on the website. You will have to call our dealer support team and they can actually adjust the lease for you guys over the phone. But if you had a device, same customer approved for $500, but they got $200 worth of a device, that's when you can add, you'll complete the adjustment, but you'll add the new device with the correct price and then just remove the other device and then complete the adjustment. And SmartPay is going to refund the customer the difference. So whatever the difference in the new first payment is, they will get that refunded back to their account. Does that make sense?
Yep. And then I have another question. Let's say a customer is approved for $500, but the device is $700. Can they pay the difference to us?
So the way that Elevate is set up, you probably will need a manager override to do that. Best practice is if they do go over the approval amount, keep it within about $100 window. You still may need a manager override to take the difference, but SmartPay is not set up to accept split tender. But if the manager approves of it, you can do that. And put whatever it is they get approved for on SmartPay, and then they pay the difference out of pocket. But it's my understanding that you'll need an override to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Should we focus on only pushing SmartPay on TN because there's so many BTN escalations going on right now, or should we try pushing forward onto BTN?
That is a great question. And I would say it's all about what your availability is. I'm a person that wants to make sure that if you push SmartPay, that it doesn't add to your regular process time with the customer paying by cash or credit or using Boost Up. So if it's going to delay the time that you need to get that customer out the door, then you can push SmartPay for the transform network or the expanded network. And then if the customer is patient, you have access to your manager who can complete the override, and that manager is comfortable with it, then you can push BTN. So I would say I would leave that at the dealer level to decide what's best for them, because I know I personally don't have the ability to override within Elevate, so I would leave that up to you all to decide. But I will definitely, Renata, thank you for asking that. Get with our team, my leadership team, to see if there's anything we can do to help push Boost to try to create a solution for that, especially since that's something that we're pushing, right? So we want to make sure that you guys don't have any additional steps to take and that we fit into your everyday workflow.
Thanks so much, Monet.
You're welcome. These are all great questions. Are there any other questions? Is there anyone who needs some marketing material for SmartPay? Do you have everything that you need in store? Everyone has their SmartPay login IDs. All right, I'm going to take that as a yes, that we're all set. So if you didn't already get my information, you'll have it here. Feel free to reach out if you have a question, concern, or you need assistance, and I am at your service. I look forward to eventually meeting everyone who was on the call in person during my door visits.
Monet, thank you. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you hopping on. Last chance for question, guys. While you have the expert on the call with you, any last questions before we wrap it up? All right.
No questions here. I think we're good.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Monet, thanks again for hopping on and doing this training. We'll talk to you guys next Monday at noon. Have a great week. Happy selling and happy, I guess, end of April. We got one next month. Will be the start of May or next week. Thanks, guys. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.